Hello and welcome back. Today I want to teach you how to find out how many commands are available on the system, find commands according to search criteria, and then refer to the documentation to execute commands correctly. So I've added in a couple of links to websites that are like libraries for man pages. And of course, the command line is text-based, so it could be a little bit harder to navigate, especially because a lot of us have used the graphical user interface that has icons and drop-down menus, but the command line does not have these things. And so navigating it is a good skill. I want to teach you how to do that in reference to the manual pages. So Less is an application that allows a file or output to be scrolled through. So very often an output will be too large for the screen. I'm going to use the ls command to display the contents of the etc file, and then I will pipe that using the unnamed pipe to the less command. So the output of the ls command is going to the input of the less command, and the less command allows this output to be scrolled through or even searched through. So let me show you some of the features of the less application. If you press the H key, you will be sent to a help page, and it's very extensive, and you don't have to leave the less application session to view this help information. I'm just going to press quit to leave here, and I have a few exercises here that allow me to scroll forward a lot faster. Now, the directional keys will only go up one line at a time when you scroll up or scroll down, and it will scroll up or scroll down continuously one line at a time. And for that matter, so will the rest of these keys when you press them. However, the J key will scroll us down, and then the K key will scroll us up, but one line at a time. So if I added a number to the J key, that would scroll me down, for example, 6 lines. Or if I added 8, I could, and then press the K key, I could scroll up 8 lines at a time. And then also you can use F is page down and B is page up. So, excuse me. And so F is page down, B is page up. So every time I press this B key or I press the F key, I will be scrolling down 35 lines each time I press this. And then the B key is exactly the opposite, 35 lines scrolling up every time I press this. And now the half window keys are D and U. So D will be half page down, and then U will be half page up. So D half page down, U half page up. So these are my exercises that I use to memorize these keys, because when I'm using less, I often want to be faster because I might be in a rush. So what is journalctl? It is an application that queries the systemd journal. Often we are doing this when an application fails and we want to find the error message. But let me go to full screen, and you can see that the output is too wide for the screen. So I'm using the right directional key to witness the rest of this output, and let me use the U key to go up, and you can see I have to do this. But you can also see how much faster I am scrolling through this using these keys So it really is best that I memorize them. Okay, let me go back. Okay, and let's move on here. And I'm going to run this command again. And now I'm going to press capital G to go to the very end of the output, and then lowercase g to go to the very top. And then I'm going to use the 7 key and then the % key. I'm going to press Shift and 5 actually for that % key. And that will take me to 7%, the 7% mark in the document. I want to go to the 70% mark now. So that might be helpful. I'm going to press G to go to the very top. Now I'm going to look forward through this output for the SSH pattern. So a pattern matching SSH. There, I found it. Now I want to look backward through this output, and now I found CentOS. So I'll have a little bit more detail on that coming up. So I'm going to go to the man page. So wait, that man page is an interface to the online reference manuals. So now I'm going to look forward through this for a pattern matching left arrow. Okay, now we have the matches highlighted. I'm going to press the lowercase n key to scroll forward through this. I could press the uppercase n key to scroll backward. And so this works this way because I'm using the / to look forward through the file. But the rules are reversed if you are using the, I'm going to press capital G to go to the very end. If you're using the question mark, then I'm just going to look for the -A option. So this works in reverse because we're searching reverse now. So I'm pressing lowercase n to search backward through this file. And perhaps that was what I was looking for. Or I could search forward by pressing the capital N. It depends on how you would like to search. But I'm often using these techniques when I am looking for something quickly through a very large man file. And so that is a very useful thing to remember. Okay, I'm just going to quit out of this man page. And then I'm going to describe what help pages are. Help pages are a summarized version of what is found in the man and help pages, the info pages. So you can see this is mostly information pertaining to options. So for example, I did not know, I knew the concept of this option, but I did not remember how exactly it is to be typed. So if I already am very well versed with a command, I will often use help pages rather than the man pages because it's a lot faster to use these. And also it will show you the syntax at the very top here. Let me just quit out of this. And often you will have to use the less application because the outputs are really quite large. Let me show you something. Okay, so getEnt has no main page. I need to use the help page to show me the system documentation for the getEnt command, and this is very helpful, especially when you are dealing with network issues and such. So let me clear the screen here, and I will go to the man page for the man application. And you can see here these syntax blocks will show you the order of operations of the options available to these commands. And this is very important because this has to be followed for the application to actually run correctly. So just something to point out. And I have used the what is command to show a very brief synopsis of what the command does. The apropos, I think that's how you pronounce this command, will search the manual page names and descriptions for a pattern that you specify. So let me quit out of this and let me look for a pattern matching SSH. And you can see our output here, but we want to refine that output to be a word that is independently we want to look for let me demonstrate this. And so as you can see, K-shell is no longer displayed in this list because we are looking for SSH as a standalone word. And so that is a more refined search. So let me clear the screen. Let me show you a much easier way of describing this. So I'm going to pipe this to less. I know there's going to be a lot of output here. I'm supposed to not use the wildcard. Okay, so now you can see that IP, as it appears in bzip, will be in this output, but we do not want that. Let me press quit here, and wildcard will show us a much more refined output. And this might help you, especially looking for the IP command if you don't know what the IP command is. We'll use the IP command very extensively in Chapter 5. So let me move on. Let's take a look at cron tab. So as you can see with all of these entries, we have these numbers. These numbers correspond to manual page sections. And I have a list here of the manual page sections and what they mean. So let's just go to this entry because it deals with file formats. Okay, so you see that here we're dealing with the files used to schedule the execution of programs. Now let me quit and change that to a 4 because that should be available to us as well. Well, no, cron tabs. And so that's section 4, special files, usually found in the dev directory. So cron tabs, configuration and scripts for running periodical jobs. So that seems like a script that is going to be running something. So of course it would be in the device directory here. Just quit out of this, and another very interesting command is the compgen c command. Now let me show you that. And so it's a bash built-in command, and here's the documentation for it. Let me quit out of this now. Then I know that compgen c will display all of the commands that are available on my system, but I need to be able to see this, so I'm going to do something to it. Let me show you what the sort command is. It is a command that will sort lines of text files. So let me pipe that to sort, then pipe that to less, and now we have an alphabetical ordered list of all of the commands that are available in our system, and daemons, I believe, as well. And we can search through this using the less commands. So will it find that? No, it won't find that. Sorry. So let me just find grep. There we have it. It also finds alias as well. So have fun with this. This kind of blew my mind the first time I saw this. Okay, let me set myself up here. The man pages are very useful, but often the info pages will have a lot more information. So let me just type in info and press enter, and we are at the top of the info tree. So let me press H here, and just as we had with less, we have a basic manual here. It goes very extensive, so I don't have to quit out of this help page to see some of these very common options here. Let me press X actually to exit out. Now let's basic info commands. So it's made up, the info tree structure is made up of different info files, for example cpio.info, and each info is made up of nodes, which are like chapters in a book. Let me show you how that works. I'll move my cursor over to this asterisk, and that is a hyperlink. I'm going to press enter, and now I've entered cpio.info. And so at the top of the screen we can see the file, and then the node that we are on, and then the next node coming up, and then the previous node, and then the parent node. So if I press the U key, that will move us up one tree branch. So I'm just going to press U. And so the parent directory is the directory, the dir directory. So let me just go back down here. I'll press enter, and there we have it. That would be the parent node. So I want to look for all of the options that preserve file attributes for the CPIO application. So I'm going to click on here, excuse me, and then I'm going to press Control S, and that's going to bring up my regexp search. And then I'm going to type in there preserve. Okay, now I'm just going to press Control S to scroll through these matches. And then I'm going to press Control R to scroll backward through these matches. So when you're looking for something very quickly in this very large man page, this might help you out a bit. And then I can press Escape to stop the search. Now, here are a few keys. The T key will bring us to the top node of the document. The D key will bring us directly to the directory node, and so that's the top of the info tree. And then let me go back down here, and so the U command will bring us up one level. And so the greater than key will bring us to the last node. The less than key will bring us to the first node. And then the bracket keys will bring us from one node to the other. Now, let's just go to the very beginning of this. Now, I could press enter on these hyperlinks here to bring me to specific sections of this, or I could just use the directional keys here to scroll through this if I wanted to read this thoroughly you could scroll down or scroll up, and that would navigate you through this. But I would not expect you to use this if you wanted to find something very specific. You could use the search keys, or you could use these keys that I like to memorize, because info pages are very, very useful. And let me just press U again, and then U again, and then U, and then I'm at the top. So I invite you to take a look at these info pages. They're very extensive, and there's a lot of information here. Some of this I will cover, but let me just press enter here. And so this is coreutils.info, and then the note about who am I. But then when I press the bracket key, I'm going forward through the nodes of coreutils.info. I'm just going to press the less than key to go to the very top, or I could press greater than to go to the very end. And so I hope you have liked this episode, and I hope this has taught you something about the system documentation, so that I'm just going to press U, so that you can start reading this and taking advantage of the documentation that is available on the Linux system, and will help you on the exam or at work when you need to find something, you need to find out about something and how it works very quickly. So I hope to see you on the next episode, and have a good day.